Arizona plays Colorado this Saturday, and Arizona with Jedd Fisch is moving in a totally opposite direction than Deion Sanders. How did we get to this point, and are there fireworks that could explode?
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, now we've got a lot to get to this show. First and foremost, though, we are going to talk about, by the way, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks, by the way. I apologize on that one. All right, now we've got a lot to get to this show. First and foremost, we're going to talk about Arizona, Colorado, Deion Sanders, my friend, Deion Sanders and Jedd Fisch. All right, now, when Deion Sanders was hired at Colorado, I thought it was a great hire. The main reason why is that he is when you're a place like Colorado, if you're a place like Colorado, you're always going to have a little bit of an issue bringing in players. Not only are you going to have a problem, not only are you going to have a problem bringing in players, you are going to generally not be totally relevant. Now, the thing about it is, Deion Sanders came in and has done a lot of really, really good things. And not only has he done a lot of really good things, he has been the guy who has been able to be the guy who has been able to bring in all kinds of good players. Shedeur Sanders obviously is a fantastic football player. Travis Hunter, fantastic football player. Look at Horn, you look at Worthy. And not only that, you've also got two players in Worthy and Horn. You could make the case are arguably the best players in the entire maybe the best wide receiving core in the conference. And if not, it's right there. Not only is it right there, it is something that I think is going to be a problem for years to come. But the problem that Colorado is, with Colorado is you're needing to kind of put everything out there now, and the offensive line is not good. The defense is not good. And what's happening though is, and again, I apologize about this. What's happening is that this is not a team, or this is not a program right now that is able. There we go. I don't know why that didn't come up earlier. This is not a program right now that has a plethora of talent, and that is always going to be an issue. And not only is it not going to be an issue, it's going to be an issue for the foreseeable future. The offense, you don't just come in and get a good offensive line. And not only do you not get a good offensive line, or you don't just fire the coach, or you don't fire the offensive coordinator and say, all right, we're good to go now. No, nothing to see here. You don't really have that in play. So Colorado's defensive line is a problem. Our offensive line is a problem for them. And not only is it a problem for them, this is something that I believe that Arizona can attack. And not only can Arizona attack, I think it's going to be a problem pretty much all game. Now, you have a situation now with you have a situation now with the U of A where you've got a pass rusher in Taylor Upshaw that this game is personal. If you heard about his social media, you know that this one is personal right now. And not only is it personal, you're probably not the guy that you want mad at you right now, because again, he's got 7.5 sacks. He's looked really, really good all season. And not only has he looked really, really good all season, he's also the dude who is, he's also the guy who when he gets after the quarter, when he gets after you, he lets you know about it. Then opposite him, you got Isaiah Ward, you got Deuce Davis. Both guys have been very, very good. And up front, Big Bill Norton, as we've talked about a billion times, not only has Big Bill Norton been the man a billion times, get it, Big Billion Norton, but you've also got a player in Tyler Manoa, Jacob Kongaika, Tai Uiagalelei, all kinds of dudes right there. Not only all kinds of dudes, all kinds of guys that can very much play football. All right, now, I think one thing that we do need to look at, though, is where exactly is Arizona then going to be able to where is Arizona going to be able to force some turnovers? Because again, Deion Sanders is a good quarterback. Not only is he a good quarterback, he's a player that kind of leads out there. This is going to be a big game for the U of A secondary right there. We've talked about Ephesians Prysock a great deal, and we should continue to talk about Ephesians Prysock a great deal. Guess why? Because Ephesians Prysock is good. And not only is Ephesians Prysock good, he's also probably going to line up with Travis Hunter or Xavier Worthy. I don't know. I'm going to be curious to see exactly what happens there. You've also got Horn, but Arizona, between Stukes, Takario Davis, and Ephesians Prysock, you have some very good corners right there. Not only do you have some very good corners right there, you've also got some players at the safety position that are starting to play. Gunnar Maldonado. I almost said Gunnar Upshaw. Gunnar Maldonado has been very, very good for the U of A. And again, I got to say, my bad, Gunnar. Not only do I have to say my bad, Gunnar, Jedd Fisch obviously knows more about football than me because I thought you were absolutely terrible. Not only did I think you were absolutely terrible, I thought that you were also the player that I thought you were also the guy who was going to be a reason that Arizona's defense continued to struggle. You have said no, Mike Luke. You are an idiot. And you know what? I won't be the first time. That won't be the first time somebody has told me that. Then on the other side right there, the linebackers, I don't worry a ton about the Colorado running game. The main reason I don't worry about a ton about the Colorado running game is because their offensive line isn't good. Now, again, we're going to talk about Deion Sanders a little bit on the other side right here because there's some things about Deion that I think are really crummy. Not only do I think that they're kind of crummy, he's also I'm not a big fan of throwing people under the bus. And I think that can have absolutely terrible, terrible repercussions for the team. Maybe, though, these are ones that Arizona can also take advantage of. Speaking of taking advantage of, Jace Medical right here. Use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. Check it out. Again, jacemedical.com. We're in this day and age, where sometimes you want to be able to get to the doctor, but you can't for a variety of different reasons. Jace Medical is here. Not only is Jace Medical here for you, they are also here to be able to soothe your mind and your body. Again, use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Get yours today at jacemedical.com, my friends. Thanks for making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, now, let's talk about Deion Sanders because, again, Deion is obviously, there's a lot about Deion that is a lot about Deion. And not only is there a lot about Deion that's a lot about Deion, you also know that he's going to call it the way he sees it. The problem is this. You don't bring in an offensive coordinator who was a head coach, somebody like Sean Lewis, and demote him after 7 games. He was a head coach. It was a crummy look by Deion Sanders. And not only was it a crummy look by Deion Sanders, I think people were also kind of wondering, all right, man, what exactly are you doing here? Because, again, the offense has not been the problem for Colorado. It has been the defense. Do you think that Sean Lewis is the problem with the offensive line, or do you think he's the problem with the defense? So getting rid of him, I thought, was a very, very crummy move. But I think even crummier was going after the offensive offensive line, saying, you know what, we got to get all better players in here, this and that. these are still kids at the end of the day. And not only are they still kids, these are still fragile personalities. That is kind of what's crummy to me about this entire situation, is that they're kind of crummy it's a crummy thing to do with kids. And that's kind of where we're at with that. I am not a fan of what Deion has done with that. And what I liked about Deion early on in the season is I thought that he conducted himself well. I thought that Deion, yes, Deion would yell, but I have no problem with coaches yelling. But I like coaches that yell where there's a method to your madness, where you're not just running around just to show people you can scream. We've seen that, obviously, with Rich Rodriguez. We've seen that with Mike Stoops. Where coaches, Sean Miller, where it seems like coaches are just letting off F-bombs just to be able to let off F-bombs. That doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't impress me. That doesn't do anything at all, to be honest with you. And I think that's just kind of a crummy look. Deion, when Deion would yell, he would yell and then he would slap the guy in the butt like, all right, let's go get him next time, Tiger, champ, whatever you want to call him. That throwing your entire team under the bus right there while saying that your quarterback, who is also your son, should win a Heisman because of the lack of offensive line help, that's a crummy look. That's just crappy. It's the best way I can put it. Now, I think that Arizona is going to be able to take advantage of this very crummy Colorado defense. First off, thanks for giving us Taylor Upshaw. He's going to probably have 10 sacks this season. And not only is he going to have 10 sacks, he's probably he would probably be Colorado's best defensive player. We thank you, Deion Sanders, for giving us Taylor Upshaw. He has been a leader out there for Arizona, and we are happy to have him. On the offensive side of the football, though, I believe that Arizona is going to continue to – I believe that Arizona is going to be able to go after I believe that Arizona is going to be able to go after a pretty much pick on Colorado any way they want. I think that with Michael Wiley, with Jonah Coleman, they're going to be able to run the football. DJ Williams the same exact way. I'd love to see get our guy in there, Fam. Rayshon Speedy Luke, my friends. We'd like to see Fam get in there as well. But I believe that Arizona is going to be able to run the ball right at Colorado. And I don't think it's going to be a problem because, again, Jordan Morgan, very good. First-round pick. We know what Jonas Sabanea can do. Then you got Polito in there as well. Now you got Wendell Moe. You've got Josh Baker. You've got a pretty good offensive line, and you got thumpers behind them, right? Because, again, Michael Wiley can catch passes out of the backfield. We all know that. And not only can he catch passes out of the backfield, he's a good pass blocker, just an overall really good football player. Then Jonah Coleman, he's that thumper at 5'8", 220. He is going to run the ball right at you, and he's had his fair of Marshawn Lynch beast mode moments out there. We like seeing that. Now, a couple other guys then you got to keep an eye on as well are obviously Noah Fifita. At this point, they should just rename the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year the Noah Fifita Award because he's winning it every year or every week. I expect him to win it again this week. He's the dude who he just gets football. Sometimes you look for a way to try to figure out, all right, how can I really put this one out there? How can I best talk about how this guy can do this guy can do that? Noah Fifita can just do it. Noah Fifita can get the football long. Noah Fifita can also hit you with a high percentage of throws that are going to be caught. And that is just a big thing. When you're completing 70% of your passes, that is great, obviously. And another big reason why is these guys are getting open. With Jayden de Laura, I always got the sense that if a guy was open, I don't know that he was going to necessarily get him the ball. That was always what was kind of crummy about the whole Jayden de Laura situation. But I also think that having a T-Mac, having a T-Mac, having a Jacob Cowing, those dudes are going to be able to get open. And not only are they going to be able to get open, they're going to be able to get that separation, or they're going to be able to get the ball in a variety of different ways. And not only a variety of different ways, but they're also, if it's a jump ball, if it's a 50-50 ball, you can probably bet on T-Mac coming down with it, because T-Mac is that dude. He's about as good a 50-50 jump ball player as you're going to find in college football. That's how good he is. Now, with Jacob Cowing, his burst, Anthony Gimino made a rare good point where he said his burst from 1 to 10 yards is absolutely fantastic, and it's shown this entire year. Dude is a playmaker. Dude is a baller. After that, I'd like to see Kevin Green get some more run. Not only Kevin Green, I'd like to see Malachi Riley get in there as well. A.J. Jones, guys like that. I've seen enough of Montana Lamonius Craig. It's not a put down to Montana. I'm sure he's a great dude, but he's just kind of there. These other guys, I think, can get better. Not only do I think they can get better, I think they can thrive in these type of environments. That's where I would love to see him out there. I also think Tanner McLaughlin is going to really impress some people this well, I think Tanner McLaughlin, you can make the case, is the best tight end I think Tanner McLaughlin is probably the best tight end in the conference, and he's another player. I don't think that Colorado is going to have an answer for T-Mac 2.0, as we call it. Not only T-Mac 2.0, but every single week he's been kind of the outlet valve right there for Noah Fifita, and I don't see that one stopping. I don't see that one stopping at all. Again, I think there's just bad matchups all the way across the board here for Colorado. And I think that Arizona is going to be able to take advantage of all of those. And not only do I think they're going to be able to take advantage of all those, I think it's going to be a pretty rough day in Boulder for the Colorado Buffalo. We're going to get to a prediction here and something that maybe we aren't really talking about. But first, PrizePicks. All right, now you might have listened to all this and say, man, Mike actually made some good points, or you say Mike's an idiot, he doesn't know. Either way, appreciate you. But you look at PrizePicks, prizepicks.com/LockedOnCollege. Use code LockedOnCollege for the first deposit match up to $100, my friends. And maybe you have a little bit of insight. Maybe you think that Tanner McLaughlin's going to go over 50 yards, or that T-Mac's going to have that Teteroa McMillan is going to have two touchdowns. Whatever the case may be, PrizePicks has you covered. Again, check it out. Use code LockedOnCollege for your first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks.com/LockedOnCollege. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now, I believe that I'm not sure what players in Colorado would start for Arizona. With the way that Noah Fifita is playing right now, I'm not sure that you can say that. Shedeur Sanders would start over him. As a matter of fact, I don't think Shedeur Sanders would start over him. I would take Noah Fifita. Offensive line, obviously, Arizona's better across the board, as they are on the defensive side. Travis Hunter would obviously start at corner, probably opposite Ephesians Prysock. And one of the wide receivers right there, one of those wide receivers would start. But again, you got T-Mac, who's going to be a first-round pick, ex-5-star wide receiver. Then you got Jacob Cowing. He would have that wide receiver would probably fit in there. Probably Worthy would probably fit in there as a starter. But after that, I don't know that there's anybody that's starting for Colorado on this Arizona team. And that just goes to show you, too, what Jedd Fisch has done in such short time. Not only is it in such short time, this is also the player who, or this is also the coach who I think it's fair to say is not only your leader in the clubhouse for Pac-12 Coach of the Year, but you keep winning games. I think you're going to be in that national discussion along with Lance Leopold. I look for Arizona to win this game. I know a lot of people are worried that it's a trap game, and, I can see that, but I don't think Colorado is very good. I think that people have kind of figured this out. I think that Arizona is going to win this game. I think it's going to be something like 35-17. I don't think that Colorado can stop Arizona. And not only do I not think that Colorado can stop Arizona, I think we're also kind of at the stage where if I'm Colorado, I'm worried about this game getting out of hand. And if I'm worried about this game getting out of hand, I also think that I think it's also fair to say that Deion should be worried about this game getting out of hand as well. And that's mainly because Arizona's got better players. Not only does Arizona have better players, I think that this team is hitting its stride. And I also think that there's a real possibility that Colorado is going to self-destruct. Because when you got a coach who's throwing players under the bus left and right, not only is he throwing players under the bus left and right, he's also throwing his staff under the bus. That ain't cool. Jedd Fisch, Arizona's got great vibes right now. Not only does Arizona have great vibes, I think it's fair to say that Arizona feels very good about where they're at from a coaching and a personnel perspective. This is a good spot, though, for the University of Arizona. I look for Arizona to take care of business there against Colorado and Boulder and come back with Utah on the agenda that following week. Not only Utah on the agenda that following week, but then ASU after that. I don't think that Arizona's going to get caught looking ahead. I think for a lot of these players, this game is personal. Taylor Upshaw, certainly it's personal for him. Then also, maybe Montana Lamonius Craig steps up his game a little bit. We're going to find out. But I'm back in the A right here. I'm picking Arizona to win this game. Now, tomorrow, we are going to break down Arizona-Duke basketball, my friends. Arizona's going into Cameron. Duke is a 5-point favorite, the number 12 versus the number 2 team in the country. A lot of fun little angles that we can explore right there because, again, I think it's fair to say that this is going to be Tommy Lloyd's best team. You're obviously going against a loaded Duke team as well. We are going to give you all the angles there, my friend, all the angles. But on that note, as always, very much appreciate you guys making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. We'll be back with you tomorrow talking Arizona Duke basketball. Have a great rest of your Thursday.